Hi guys, this week on Wednesday, there is a special holiday called Earth Day. And Earth Day is a day where we think about all the ways that we can help to take care of our planet and take care of all the things that live in our planet. One of those things are trees and plants. So a lot of times on Earth Day at school, we will do experiments outside. We might plant trees. Sometimes during those weeks, we grow plants in our classroom. Since we're not in our classroom, I tried to think of a few things you guys can do at home with things that you have at home. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do an experiment that's gonna take a whole day. And we're gonna learn how leaves breathe. Did you know that leaves breathe? They do, because plants and trees are alive. Now, they don't breathe the same way we do because they don't have lungs, but they still take the sunlight and turn it into energy using, what was that called? Photosynthesis. We've talked about that once or twice before. So this experiment requires just a few things. You're gonna need some water, just regular lukewarm water. You're gonna need a couple of leaves, and the only important part about these leaves is that you pick them straight off the plant or the tree, not the leaves that have fallen on the ground. You want an active leaf that's still breathing. So I walked outside a minute ago and picked these 2 leaves. And then you're gonna need something to hold down your leaves. I just grabbed a rock outside, just a little rock. So you're going to fill your bowl with just a little bit of lukewarm water. And then you're gonna take your leaf or leaves and put them in the bowl. So the first question I'll ask is, do the leaves sink or do they float? You can answer that at home. And then if your leaves do not sink to the bottom, you're gonna need this rock on top. And you're gonna put them right on top of your leaf to hold them down on the bottom of the bowl. Now this is the hardest part of the whole experiment. You're gonna have to wait a little bit. So you're just gonna leave this out, maybe on the counter or the table, wherever you're, or on the patio or the front porch, wherever you're doing this experiment. Leave it alone for 4 to 5 hours. So that's long enough to have breakfast and read some books and play and then have lunch and then check on it, or long enough to have lunch and nap and then right before dinner check on it. Or if you're doing this at dinner time or bedtime, check on it in the morning. We'll see what happens after just a little while. Hi friends. Okay, it's been a few hours and I'm coming back to take a look at my leaf. So let's see what's going on with the leaves after they've been submerged for just a little bit. Okay, do you see bubbles on the bowl up toward the top? Any bubbles on the leaf itself or on the very bottom of the bowl? So there's plenty all around. There's even some laying on that rock. And all around the edges of the bowl, all the way around. Okay, so imagine that you're in a swimming pool and you dive down and you're holding your breath because you're under the water. And then what's the next thing that the swim instructors tell you to do? To blow bubbles, right? You take all the air that you're holding in, you go, and you let it out very slowly. So then what happens? All those air bubbles, they rise up all the way to the top. Well, that's exactly what's happening here. So the leaf takes the sunlight and it changes it into energy. Do you guys remember what that's called? Photosynthesis. So remember that big word, photosynthesis. So after it takes the sunlight and turns it into energy, What it doesn't need anymore, that extra oxygen that it makes, remember oxygen is in the air that we breathe, and that's what goes in our lungs that we need. So it takes the extra oxygen, it makes even more than it needs, and it releases that, and releases is just fancy for lets go. So it lets go of that extra oxygen, and that extra oxygen floats up to the top of the bowl.